But first, the former CFO of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy pleading guilty to charges of wire fraud and money laundering. Thank you for joining us. I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Simon Shaquette. Today in federal court, William Smith admitting to slowly funneling money from the nonprofit's business accounts into his own personal accounts over a 12-year period. He's now facing 15 to 19 years in prison.
We're told the embezzlement scheme started in November of 2012 and ended earlier this year with felony bank fraud and wire fraud charges. Smith allegedly using the money to buy 22 plane tickets to Las Vegas, luxury homes, jewelry, and more. 7 News Detroit reporter Whitney Burney witnessing major developments in federal court today. Whitney.
Attorneys in this case say the evidence is astonishing. They say documents show that Smith was using that money to bankroll things like first-class plane tickets and vacations, and he went to great lengths to hide it from the nonprofit he was meant to help. Almost every day,
it's the beautiful water, the landscaping, the people.
You can catch Detroiters enjoying the riverfront.
I love it. I love the fact that we put the money back into the city, that we did something for us, so we're able to enjoy the environment.
The nonprofit that works to develop the area, the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, now working through turmoil after the former CFO, William Smith, embezzled somewhere between $25 to $65 million over a 12-year period.
It's very disappointing because it just gives Detroit another bad name.
I am really disappointed because of the fact that I believe he's from Detroit as well. Why would you take something from the city when we're trying to build up?
Smith appeared in federal court Friday on charges of wire fraud and money laundering, entering a guilty plea after admitting to slowly beginning to wire money from the nonprofit's business account to his personal accounts in 2012.
A large portion of it was just used to live a very lavish lifestyle. Trips for his families on first-class airplanes, private planes, clothing, and other things, all at the expense of the people who were really working hard to beautify a riverfront that has been recognized as the best riverfront in America.
As a part of a plea deal, the U.S. Attorney's Office is recommending a sentence of 15 to 19 years in prison. Smith will also be responsible for paying back a minimum of $44.3 million in restitution.
What's that feeling getting that first step toward closure with the guilty plea today?
Honestly, it's a big sense of relief. Clearly, this was expected, but this has been, a long time coming.
The effect of Smith's action still weighing heavily on those now working to rebuild the Riverfront Conservancy.
It's immeasurable and the impact that has had on this community, but one thing that I will say is that we are strong. We are resilient. Our team is standing here today.
The U.S. Attorney's Office has already started seizing assets from Smith. Additionally, the Riverfront Conservancy is pursuing civil litigation against him. Smith is due back in court for sentencing in March. In downtown, Whitney Burney, 7 News Detroit.
Thank you, Whitney. And looking back at this year, we've been following this case since it broke on May 14th when Smith was placed on leave. A week later, the FBI took over the investigation. Smith was first hit with charges June 5th, and in late July, the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy hoping to reclaim their funds. Today's guilty plea following a plea hearing that came to a sudden end October 21st. Of course, we'll continue following this case every step of the way. Glenda.